Pete's Papaya. Written and illustrated by Scotty Gunther. Read by the author.
There once was a small farm town called Appleton. Everybody knew that Appleton was the place to go to get fresh apples. Every day, people would come to the town market, where they would buy apples for their pies, cobblers, canning, and crisps. If you needed apples for anything, you go to Appleton. The town folk would proudly say, "We sell apples in Appleton, and it's always been that way." One day, a man named Pete came to Appleton. He set up his fruit stand in the town's marketplace. But Pete was not selling apples. He had an odd-looking fruit. It wasn't red, it wasn't perfect, it wasn't even round. The townspeople gathered around and asked, "What's this strange-looking fruit? It's not an apple, and we sell apples in Appleton, and it's always been that way." Pete proudly said, "It's a papaya. You should all try and buy my papaya." The other fruit sellers were upset. They explained to Pete that this was Appleton, and we sell apples in Appleton, and it's always been that way. But Pete didn't listen. He just set up his fruit stand and shouted at the top of his lungs, "Try and buy my papaya!" In less than an hour, Pete sold all his strange fruit, so he packed up and left. The next day, Pete came back to town to sell his papayas, but the townspeople tried to stop him. They pointed at him and said, "We don't want you here. You and your papayas don't fit in. We sell apples in Appleton, and it's always been that way. You are not welcome." But again, Pete didn't listen. He smiled and quickly set up his fruit stand and went to work. "Try and buy my papaya!" shouted Pete. Once again, Pete quickly sold all his papayas and left. This went on for a few weeks. Every day, Pete would come to Appleton and sell all his papayas very quickly. The townfolk grew angry. They would sneer and say, "Who does Pete think he is? He shouldn't sell papayas here. We sell apples in Appleton, and it's always been that way." Word got out about Pete and his papayas. People came to Appleton from all over to try and buy a Pete's papaya. But not only did they buy papayas, they also bought apples for their pies, cobblers, canning, and crisps. Everybody made a lot of money, and the townspeople were very happy. Then, one day they had a town meeting. Everybody was there. The mayor said, "People have been buying lots of apples, and things have never been better here in Appleton. But we all agree that they are coming to try and buy a Pete's papaya." So the townspeople decided that they should all sell papayas. They even changed the name of the town to Papayaton. Now the townsfolk proudly say, "We sell papayas in Papayaton, and it's always been that way." So the next day, Pete went to the marketplace and sold apples.